I don't want someone to come into our live chat saying that, hey, I want a cheap VPS. Can you sell me something that, $5 a month, that kind of services. So I position ourselves as a premium high performance trading server. So that's why when people come into us, they're asking, can you solve this problem for me? But it's not asking about, what are your price, what is selling point, or can I get cheaper, or can I get discount code?
Hey everyone, Edmund here. Today I'm joined by Zhuo, founder and CEO of TradingFXVPS. So for those who don't know, right, Ace actually bootstrapped his company TradingFXVPS from his own pain as a forex trader into a $1 million company, helping forex and algo traders, execute faster with low latency VPS and trading infrastructure. So today, I'm super honored. I want to unpack, how he actually built this company from scratch, all the mistakes that he made along the way, and what founders like you can learn from building in a very niche and trust building market. So Ace, thanks so much for
thank you,
joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, super appreciate your time, man. I've always been wanting to do this really deep dive with you because I don't think a lot of people know about your backstory of starting, trading FXVPS. So maybe before that, could you share more about your background, your founder story, and basically your journey, right, of building trading FXVPS from scratch?
So back then when, I was studying my part-time degree, and while I was doing that, I was part-time in M1 as a CSO. So I find that, I need to pay my bills, I need to pay for my school fee. I didn't have much time to pursue another second job to make more money. So that's why I start looking, where can I really make a little bit of passive income from another source. That's where I chance upon this automated signal, I think automated tradings, we can copy tradings from professional, and then that's why, I'm like, hey, actually not bad, that idea. And that's why I also learned about, using algorithms to run strategy 24/7 in the market. So that's where I start to explore the FX industry. After which I, done with my degree and stuff, I was using, I was a customer of this company named
Think Huge.
Yeah, Think Huge Limited.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's not in Singapore, it's based in Hong Kong. So I was a customer of them, and then, just nice. During that period, they was hiring. That's why I sent in my resume. I let them know that, hey, I was your customer. I'm still a customer, and I like to join your company to learn more. And that's where I got in, and then I started working. So during that period, the company was not very big. I think it's a size about 6 people. So I'm one of them. So we take our role in different shifts because the market runs 24/7. I'm in charge in the Asia time zone. So I work about 9 to 5. So that's where I have to do almost everything because my time zone was with one of the founder, which is the Australian. So that's where basically I have to, handle the live chat, the technical support, the setting up the servers, assisting client in building conferring their EA, and running a little bit of social media stuff because my background in my diploma is in digital media, so I have to do a bit of video editing and stuff like that. So basically during the period it was quite a journey for me to learn a lot of things in the FX industry, more on the infrastructure side and the technical side. Then after a year I got into another role whereby I was being once a while they send me to Vegas to meet up with broker investor that invested in their signal and stuff like that. So that was their business. So after which then I started training a team of people, but eventually that me to I was being let go. After which I found that I was actually replaced by the people that I've trained basically. So everything ended there, and that's where I started, maybe I should start up my own company. And because during the period, I know that, I was serving quite a lot of customer. I was handling the front end. So every day I'm speaking like to 10 to 15 customer. And in a year, I probably have, spoke to like thousands of traders and stuff like that. So I feel that, I do have there's a gap that, I know that it's not really in the market, and there's something that maybe I can fill up the gap, and eventually, start up this TradingFXVPS to really just fill the gap, basically. Yeah.
What was the gap that you were talking about?
So besides services, maybe I talk about services. So for back then, my company, because I was handling the morning shift, so FX, they don't operate on weekend.
Yep.
So they don't have any customer support during the weekend. So during the weekend, they got me to, hey, Ace, can you like help up in the weekend too? So, but during the 24-hour shift, the whole shift, I will only spend about, 2 hours of my time. But 2 hours on the back of my 8 hours, and the 2 hours at the end of my 8-hour shift just to support, any inquiry. But I do see a problem whereby, where there are this gap, I would say tickets are actually being not handled immediately because I was away. Then even until the Monday morning whereby I got to the desk, there are tickets piling up, like 10, 20 tickets. So that's why I can feel the frustration for traders because I'm the one handling them, all of them. So by the time I resolve the last ticket or the problem that they have, it's already taking up like 2 to 3 hours of my time. So that's when, I feel that if the company is not handling this properly, but they still actually, are growing quickly, it's something like, maybe, I can solve this problem here and then be just, a small percentage of the market share. I think that's good enough for me. So they're like, maybe I'm suitable to do that. Back then, I would say the latency wasn't that great. So we were talking about, like 2-3 millisecond, most 1 millisecond. So there wasn't really companies that focusing on, sub 1 millisecond. So that's where because I was trader myself. So I invest in algorithm and things like that. So I really want to, have a breakthrough and solve this problem that infrastructure and the people are lacking, not doing this properly. Then those that are able to really offer such latency, the price point is really not cheap. That means a retail trader definitely won't be able to enter to I would say adopt such technology. So which is why I sort of like wanted to come up with something that can really break through and fill up the gap for retail traders like myself.
So basically in your previous company, you saw two problems, seems like. One is the customer support, the customer experience, right? Second one, there's more fundamental, which is the infrastructure, the latency, and if you want to get really short latency, you have to be the big fish, right? Like the B2B brokerages to have access to this kind of infra, but the retail traders probably they don't have access, or it's really hard for them to like get this infra.
Yeah. Correct.
In place.
It's either they have to pay a premium price or
okay.
they are it's impossible for them to have access to such latency, basically.
Okay. And that's why you came out and started your company.
Yes, basically. That's why I wanted to come out because I needed that for myself and I can't afford it, basically. Which is why I was looking for solution here and there. I was talking to hosting solution. I was talking to providers, whether, is there something that we can do and sort of like, if I have a group of trader, can I like sort of like share the cost so that we can get this done and things like that. That's what I was exploring into that option. Yeah. And that's where, I feel like, I have the background to work with the people. I know the flow. I have the workflow, which I've built up along the way. I learned almost everything because I was just the only one that's in charge in the Asian shift. I think, why not? Let's give it a try lah. Then if cannot work, I think then it's okay. I mean, I just do it for myself then. Yeah.
And that was when you started this company in?
I started in 2016.
2016?
2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 10 years already.
10 years. 10 years. Yeah.
Wow, 10 years anniversary, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just curious, in the earliest days when you first started this, right? How did you actually get your first customer? Yeah, because to me, it sounds very niche. Your customers, I suppose, is the retail FX traders
Right.
back then. How do you get access to this bunch of people? Is it because you talk to them a lot? That's why you guys built the trust. And when you came out, they just sign on to become your early customers. Like, how does it work?
So in the earliest day, I know a few forex forum, trading forum. So I'm quite active there. That's where, when people ask questions like, what's the latency to this broker? Which location should VPS location should I get for this broker? Or, something like, I'm running like, X amount of trading platform. What is the resources required for? So I would jump into the forum and be the first one to answer this question for them. And at the same time, I created an account, put my branding there when I'm answering. So that's where, at the very end, once I solve their problem, then I will self-promote a little bit saying that, you can actually get this server at this location at this latency. So, something like that. So that's where, I do some self-promotion on forums and traders get to know that, there's like a new brand that came out from nowhere. Maybe, give it a try since that I'm the one that helping them. So that was the very first few batch of traders that come in to support us. Then that's probably how we actually grow eventually to still adopt that motto whereby we look into solving problem first, then we sell you something. Yeah.
Always build the trust first by solving problems for others. Correct. Before selling your service or products.
But eventually when we try to go into the market, it's difficult to build the trust at the very start. So we also do, like the price point whereby we work with the forum moderator whereby, I say give discount. We don't look at earning, but we just look at breaking even. So we give huge discount, like 50% off for the first month. Just go ahead and try. Then that's where we collect feedback, we collect reviews, we collect, problems that, they face. So the way I work is I will tell them that, if you face any issue, let me know. And if I couldn't rectify it, I won't charge you a single cent. So until I fix the problem, then we'll start charging you. So your subscription gonna start when you start using them. So that's when, people feel like, hey, and I reach out to Ace. Ace is there for me. And he know that I'll be there most of the time. So I feel the accountability that is there, unlike generic hosting provider that, you do your own stuff. And on top of that, the support that we give them is something that differentiates us from other companies that are offering.
And you provide this kind of support all days, not just, weekdays, like basically 24/7. If they have any questions.
At the very start, it was just myself. So it was very tiring. So I have to install live chat on my mobile phone. So I woke up at like 3 a.m.
Wow.
At 6 a.m. serving customer that, hop onto our live chat, asking question. But then even, while I was enjoying dinner with my family, friends, then they come, hey, I need help installing stuff. Then because I'm at the very start, it was a one-man team. So I have to really handle from the sales into marketing, whereby I write my own content about, like the home PC versus a VPS, and what's the benefit of using a VPS, and etc. So those period was really, I would say I have to work like 18 hours a day to really get things done and have everything. But every single, I would say, action that back then that was done by me really moved the business to a new level. That someone that, I want to bring accountability. I want to make them trust what we are building. The product that I use are customized, specialized for traders, not just, a retail that you can't really make good use of. So we also develop tools that, notify them when, their trading platform crash, and send them an email to let them know that, this happened. So you may want to, take note and work on it.
Wow. And how do you scale this stuff? Because you mentioned originally you give them a huge discount to get started only when they really felt that it was valuable, then you start charging them, right? Stuff
Correct.
like that. And how do you go from, $0 all the way until $1 million ish to make this kind of revenue along the way? Like, what was the main thing that grew the company, the business revenue?
Definitely, I would say that there's a few small little things that combine together to make this happen. So one is the brand positioning. So at the very start, I knew that I don't want someone to come into our live chat saying that, hey, I want a cheap VPS. Can you sell me something that $5 a month, that kind of services. So I position ourselves as a premium high performance trading server. So that's when people come into us, they're asking, can you solve this problem for me? But it's not asking about, what are your price, what is selling point, or can I get cheaper or can I get discount code? We don't really practice that. So until today, we don't really give out a lot of discount code. We just want to put ourselves in whereby you come to here is to solve your trading hardware, trading solution. We offer trading solution for you so that it solves your problem and we are able to sustain using a much higher price than most generic VPS provider. So that keeps us, ahead of others, because when traders know that they want a high performance server, they know who to look out for. Instead of, Googling somewhere, they see a few, competitor that, just branding themselves as a generic forex VPS, but we want something even more that differentiate ourselves. Then beside that would be I would say the customer service that we offered. So in our company, because I knew the very problem whereby a lot of companies don't offer the weekend support, public holiday, they don't offer any support. So that's why I don't do it that way. I hire additional staff to let them rotate on the weekend. So even on Saturday, Sunday, public holiday, we have people stand by to answer live chat, to handle all the tickets. Then that's where, this business really grow, because they can see a difference when they ask for help during the weekend. Because weekend is actually a very low peak period whereby people don't really want to invest resources on it because market are closed. But they don't see that in the VPS industry, actually, when market are closed, that's where they are actually doing something like, doing some maintenance or doing some configuration in their
Backtesting.
EAs, correct. Or, doing some of their downtime work. But that's when they are actually still doing something. But because you don't have the support to support them during that period, they need to wait till the market open. Then they start solving the problem. Then that's where a lot of opportunity that's on the first day is lost, because they are not running their algorithm at all. So we don't want to wait till the market open, then we start solving. So we start solving on the day before the market open. So I think these two very factor is actually the one that really bring us, keep the growth climbing higher and higher than before.
Love it. So it's basically the customer support and the high performance products that you're offering to the customers. But what was the first painful? Because we all know, right, building a company is super sometimes lonely and also very painful, because along the way you might have made a lot of different mistakes building the company. So I'm just curious, like, what was your most painful mistake that you made that cost you lots of money, or maybe your customers, or even your sleep, right?
I would say working with the wrong supplier or vendor is one of the earliest mistake I made, which cost us quite a lot of my sleep. Because for example, when we work with IP providers, whereby because every VPS we have to assign a dedicated IP onto the server, so we actually lease them the IP and then we sublet to our customer. And in the industry, it's okay, or it's normal that sometimes they let us know that, hey, they need to change the range of the IP address. That it's just there might minor downtime on the server. It's just like a few minutes kind of downtime. But they didn't know that we are actually running a trading hosting solution. So some of our client the algorithm licenses are actually IP bind. So when they do that, it actually sort of disrupt their algorithm, because the license that they have purchased actually got revoked because they thought that you are using it on another computer. So somehow disrupt their strategy. Well, so this actually caused us some issue whereby we have to let client know and guide client the way that hey, this happened, and what you are facing here is something that you're gonna speak to your developer to get them to reissue a new license, and this saga actually cost us a lot of money because we have to start compensating. That means my motto is, if I cannot rectify your problem, we actually waive that 1 month of the subscription. So that period was like, I was like, we got to do something. Then same like, when we work with network provider, then they'll promise, okay, I'm saying I'm going to add on redundancy and things like that, so that, but then when we pay them with whatever that is there, and then things happen like outages, it's something that we can't control. So the mistake here is that, when we work with supplier, the supplier weakness actually caused customer problem, and then in return sort of like our brand actually pay the price for it. So it's something that still haunt me, that I once I learn this, I'm gonna find a way to counter this.
So the solution is what? Is to find the right supplier, or to find multiple suppliers so that you don't have a single point of failure when shit happens to, let's say, one supplier. At least you got backup or something.
Yeah, so our solution whereby we're doing our restructuring is to, if we can own something, we own them so that we have control. And if we know that there's things that we are not in control, then we have to build redundancy so that we don't work with just one supplier. We're gonna, build a redundancy with another supplier, so that I always tell myself that I don't tell them, how good are you? I will ask, what if you fail? What's next? Do you have that thing to support us, so that they know that, hey, if I fail, what happened next? And that's the check that I have for every provider, because I want to know that what's the worst outcome when it happened. Are we ready for it? Will there be a solution to handle this? So that's when, if they don't have the answer, then we have to have the answer. Yeah. So every single hardware, we have to have redundancy. If the storage A fail, we need to have a storage B standby and ready. So that's where all these are built in this manner, whereby we cannot have anything without redundancy, or we cannot have anything that's not within my control. Yeah. So that's where we build towards that, to actually bring out I would say, a tier 1 grade server with high performance.
Will you be eventually building your own, kind of like tech infrastructure, like the IP, the hosting services, scaling, and all these, instead of relying on external suppliers to do that?
Yes. So part of our restructuring is we actually invested a 6-figure amount onto owning all the IP address. So right now, every
dedicated
single
IP.
Yes.
Okay.
So we own them. So when you search for the IP address, like when you go to search for some IP, you say M1 Telecom or Singtel or stuff like that. Then the IP right now is under our company. So there's no way someone can replace it, or we have full control of them. So yeah. And each IP, in right now it costs about $30. So but I think it got cheaper right now. So yeah.
Per month?
Not per month, it's lifetime.
Oh, lifetime.
Yeah. So we decided, we shouldn't be leasing them after all. So that's why we make the decision to, revamp the whole model. We rather own them than we lease them for the long run.
Okay, so for those non-FX traders, right, non-technical people, because we talk about latency and all this infra stuff might be a bit technical, how would you explain, latency, or in terms of the infrastructure solution that you are providing? Because you mentioned about latency in terms of sub-milliseconds, downtime and bad routing. All these could potentially cost real traders money. Like, how does all this work? Because I'm not a FX trader, by the way, right? And I just want to understand, like, how would all this affect FX trader to lose money? And maybe could you maybe give an example of that? Yeah. Just for my own learning.
Yeah.
Just curious. Yeah.
So a good example for in the layman terms would be, if today you want to buy a stock or buy anything, you are able to buy faster than someone else at any point of time. So when both have the intention to buy something, the buyer A that have the lower millisecond or the faster speed actually get to buy faster. And when they intend to sell something, they get to sell faster. So that's the upper hand and that's the advantage that they have in the market. So that is what we are building. So for back routing would be if someone were to buy a stock for, I would say, $10, when both execution are the same, one with the back routing, by the time it gets to the broker, it gets to the liquidity provider and come back to you, it may be $10.50 because they are routing here and there trying to send your orders to, to somewhere. And there's the high latency whereby 60 millisecond, 200 millisecond. By the time it reaches there, come back to you maybe a 0.5 seconds delay, whereby traders that are on, low millisecond, like 1 millisecond or 0.3 millisecond, they are sending the message to the broker, the liquidity provider at a way faster speed than you. So when the orders get filled, it's going to be better because that's the price that they are looking at and that's the price that they want. And worse for downtime, that's the worst outcome. So today, if example, all your friends are in this circle trying to, do these trades, but because you are, example, you're on a plane, on a Wi-Fi, and there's suddenly a disruption whereby there's no Wi-Fi on the plane and you didn't execute that trade at all. Whereas your colleague and everyone actually execute that trade. They purchase at $10 and they sold at $12. But during the 1 hour downtime, you miss out the whole thing. So I would say, for trading infrastructure, for trading strategy, actually the weakness can sometimes come from the infrastructure that's supporting it.
So usually if for the FX traders, I'm just wondering why can't they buy the hardware themselves and set it up so that they control everything, the performance and all these. Why would they want to look for a vendor like you guys, a player, to help them with the infrastructure and all these, where they don't have full control of the hardware?
Whether they have the capability or I would say, because if they were to buy a single hardware, you need to rent the space. You need to pay up quite a bit of hardware and everything. The startup cost is actually not low for them. Whereas what we are building is we can rent them a slice of the rack that we are building. So this brings affordability into the picture. Because if they are just running one trading platform, do they really need to buy the whole hardware that costs $4,000 at the very start? Would they want to pay for the network that he himself is the one only using it? Whereas we have the network that can be used by 100 users and somehow we can split the cost for them, because they're not going to just say, I'm going to sell you the bandwidth for one user. They're not going to do that. Yeah. So the entry point for retail traders is still we bringing them the affordability whereby we can, slice everything into a smaller portion so that they can still host one of their trading platform at a sort of like an affordable range.
So sounds like you are like a AWS, but for FX traders. You
Correct.
Provide the whole infra for them, right? So that
yeah,
they don't need to do anything, just subscribe and all these. But we have been talking about, retail traders. What about B2B FX traders? Do they also, need your services? Like, how does it work?
For B2B, we do work with them, but it's also one of my biggest regret that I didn't actually identify broker as one of our ICP in the earlier stage on business. So right now, what we are doing, we go into the earlier life cycle of broker, whereby we find those startup or those new broker that are looking for solution. We work with them, because the problem we have with broker would be, they have a really established relationship with older providers, and in order for us to get in, it's not just performance
It's a relationship.
Yeah, it's really the relationship and to get in. And when we sell them performance, we sell them lower latency, we sell them the stability. To them, is it worth the hassle for them to make a switch, or is it low risk for me to make this move, or they have some internal politics that stopping them from working with someone else. So performance wise actually it's just opening the door, but to really get in is still, I would say, the trust and the relationship for B2B. So yeah, so that's where we are at right now, and that's something that we hope along the way we can work out something that solve this problem. But of course we do look into into a way whereby we come up with easier adoption for the broker, easier integration through like API, iframe, and also a low risk approach whereby we don't tell them, hey, replace your current provider. We tell them diversify, maybe just add us on top of your current provider, so that if anything happen on your current provider, maybe we can be the backup. So that's the approach that we are trying on with bigger companies that are more reluctant to I would say switch.
When you say bigger companies or B2B side, are you mainly referring to I don't know, like FX brokerages, or what are we talking about here? B2B?
Yes, it would be FX brokerage. So brokerage like all over the world, IC Market, Tickmill, or even like Singapore broker, IG Market, CMC, stuff like that. So it's really not easy to penetrate into this market at all. That's why we often try to reach out to. Hopefully we landed on the right people, then they are keen in what we are doing, which is why we are sharing as much information as we can, and sort of like to let them know that we can do this and let us be the alternative.
Okay, tell me, right, what is the biggest, because you mentioned about it's really hard to crack this B2B market because of, okay, first switching costs, right? Second is the relationship, because they have already built the trust with their existing suppliers or vendors and all these. I'm just wondering, what is the biggest misconception that these B2B brokerages might have when it comes to finding the right infrastructure for the FX trading team? Aside the relationship, right? What are the things that they think are normal and are right, but actually this is actually not the case?
For B2B, to them, I think the major factor that they are looking at would be stability.
Okay.
Because uptime to them are extremely important, because they have clients that are on board onto their brokerage. They have trading platform that need to be online at all time. So one, uptime. The second would be consistency. How consistent are the latency across the time? So that's where we are built towards that direction. And there are some, I think, broker that are in charge of the, I would say, the higher management of the broker, but they do not possess, I think, the IT knowledge in some area, which means they have a sort of like misconception whereby, are these really very important to them? Or, maybe like 1 millisecond versus a 0.3, there's not much differences, it's just 0.7. So does it really impact so much on the traders? They may not, really realize that. So that's when, when we pitch to them and certain thing is like not worth the hassle, to be honest, to them, basically. Yeah. And yeah, that's where we are kind of stuck at that point whereby, performance is not really the thing that make the deal, I would say.
Maybe they didn't feel the pain enough for them to overcome the switching costs.
Correct.
And probably, I don't know, maybe the latency is not what strikes the pain themselves.
I also found that, sometimes they really focus on, whether before they partner with you, they look at how many clients can you onboard for them. Can they leverage on your brand and bring in, I would say,
new logos?
Correct. And can you, advertise and bring in customer for me before I start working with you. But the thing is, for TradingFXVPS, we want to be neutral. We don't want to, specifically recommend some broker because those are, there are different regulation in the different country, and we don't want to just sell our customer certain brand that we don't have control in. So same thing. So we want to have the control. So if we were to sell something and something go wrong, and we have no control, and the customer won't blame them, it blame us because we are the one that pushing them on board. So which is why we always stand neutral, right? We tell them that we can't do that. Yeah, we not like some other broker, some other VPS provider that they can just, work with you, partner with you, and, bring in customers so that you work with them.
That is weird, right? If you work with, let's say, 3 different B2B brokerages and 3 of them ask you to refer them customers, then what will you do? Like, how can you stay unbiased though?
But they still do that.
They still do that?
They still do that,
okay.
Yeah. So that's how they will just put on our website, you like, but they will be a bit more transparent whereby, they're going to promote 3 different and on a single landing page, and then you let the customer make the decision whether you want to choose these 3 or, something out of the landing page is your call. But of course, if you work with these 3, then you get the benefit of getting like a free server and stuff like that.
Wow. It's an enterprise B2B kind of market.
Correct.
And I think now the perception that people, I believe, that see TradingFXVPS is more of the retail FX traders kind of thing. But now it seems like you are trying to penetrate into B2B so that you can cater to both sides, B2C and B2B. Is that the plan that you are doing now?
Yes, because we do see that the potential are much higher to be working with B2B than to B2C. Because, for instance, whereby when we get a chance to work with a broker, there are a lot of B2C that's under this broker. So we sort of like, one stone hit 2 birds. So we get to work with broker, eventually we get to work with their client. So that's the benefit and the advantage that we look at, it's actually a worthy try to, penetrate this B2B market.
Interesting. And across these 10 years, right? You mentioned you have been running this for 10 years. Other than the B2B side, like what's the toughest moment in your entire journey of building, TradingFXVPS? Is it product or team decision or maybe a near-death kind of experience that you haven't actually talked about publicly before?
To replace myself off from the company,
okay,
and
what does
start
that mean?
hiring. So because at the very early stage, I pauka liao everything. So I'm like handling every single thing from the top to the back to the and anywhere, this is gonna be me involving in everything. So the toughest moment was really during the 2017 to 2022, whereby I
First 5 years, you were like solo.
I solo for 1-2 years,
but
then I slowly have to delegate some of what I'm doing to someone else. The toughest period was I uphold this perfection customer service for every single client that I serve. But then when I start hiring people in, the standard of service that I'm getting actually dropped. So toughest periods was really to sort of like understand, how can I let go myself from the company, but upholding that standard that the customer expect out from my business. So there's a lot of, hiring here and there, training involved personally by me, every single one. And then we start to automate stuff that are manually done like 100 times. Then I would tell them that, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to automate those things so that less human error, like, VPS provisioning, customers start to cancel the service, it's going to be automated. So when they send an invoice and then they make payment, it's going to be automatically marked as paid and renew the services. So a lot of stuff that we want are automated right now. So this whole moment that we built are actually one of the toughest period that I experienced, because I really want someone that, can work with me, but without reducing the standard that I'm expecting from the company. So so I dedicate, more stuff onto my marketing team, then the front end, and I hired more developer to work on the back end, to network and stuff, and that's the whole thing. That during the years it was really not an easy period. That it took me quite a few years, I think more than 5 years to automate, I think 80 to 90% of the what I've been doing, and to really move myself out from that, the daily task that I need to do.
To work on the business, not in the business.
Correct.
Right. But what was the secret recipe though? Like now you have been through this very tough experience. What's the secret recipe that got you get the right people that can do things that is up to your standard without affecting the customer service quality? Like, do you have a framework or the playbook that you use, to keep the standard high?
I would say this is considered one of the lessons learned that I in the business, whereby initially, because I'm a 100% remote-based company, so all my employees are fully remote. So there's a lot of self-discipline, and I need them to have. And when it comes to fully remote, there are very little monitoring that we can do. So all I did was, we get them to install those monitoring tools that, to track them. Where are they, doing their work during the shift and stuff. So I found that, by monitoring them and, seeing them, it doesn't really bring the productivity level to the standard that I want. And I sometimes feel that they are like a muto, like a log, as when there's nothing to do, they're just sitting down there and just clicking thing, or, just trying to do something out from nothing. So that approach didn't sit well with me. So that's where I scrapped the whole monitoring idea. I moved towards a result-driven kind of culture that I want. So today I tell them that, hey, we have a video tutorial that I want to come out. So usually it may take 1 week to 2 weeks, 2 weeks to get this out. But I tell them that, so because we want to drive productivity, so if you can get it out earlier than the usual, the other days that, that I have nothing for you to do, you don't need to work. I would say,
really? Don't need to
so
work?
You can go shopping, you can go sleep, or, you can do whatever you want. So we communicate in Discord. So I can see them playing Dota 2, that kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Because literally it's like, I have nothing for you, so I don't need you to be, that you can side hustle, I also don't care. So that's what I tell them. That's the culture. But when I need things to be done, you have to get it done. As quickly, as good, as perfect as, because once you did that, once you've done that and you delivered to me and I'm okay, and I have nothing for you, it's your time. I won't touch you. So this whole concept of like, I don't need to monitor them anymore, because whatever task given to them right now, they know that they take ownership in the project or the task that I given to them, and they take ownership, and they want to do it as quickly as possible. They want to do it as good as, because they know that whatever things that once I'm done with this, I'm free. So this approach somehow works better in my remote team than, constant monitoring and stuff like that. So, yeah. So this is one of the lessons that I learned, in managing people, that, I need to build that kind of culture whereby I can really drive the productivity and make them think differently. Like, I'm not stuck here like 8 hours, then I what? If I can complete it in 2 hours, I tell them 6 hours, free to go.
I really love this approach, man, because, monitoring seems like you are, kind of like always checking on them, and then they have to pretend that they are working, even though they're not, right? They're showing you the screen, clicking here and there. But being result, outcome driven, is like you give them, okay, so here's what I want, the goal. I don't care how you do it, as long as you do it and you achieve the goal, right? Everyone will just do whatever it takes to achieve that goal at shortest period of time, so that they can do their own stuff, and still achieve your goals, right?
Yes.
So I think it's a very smart way, and it's a win-win approach for everyone.
Yes.
Well, I absolutely love that. Managing a team, especially remote team. Okay, interesting. And you are still doing this now with your team, right?
Yes. They are still
remote,
fully remote.
How big is your team now?
About 15.
15.
So they come from everywhere: Philippines, Vietnam, India, and Indonesia.
Singapore?
There's only one.
You?
No, another one. One more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So all your tech team, they are also based in where?
India.
India. Okay.
India, tech team in India.
Lovely. Do you have to travel like to meet them face to face from time to time, or everything is just on Discord?
Discord, Zoom, Google Meet. Yeah, I don't really meet them in real life.
Lovely.
Yeah, so that's why the system in managing them have to be really very different from the usual culture. Yeah, because if we were to enforce a lot of rule, it doesn't really work. Based on my experience that I've been hiring, training people, and no matter how much they will still leave because I feel it's the freedom that we give them that make them stay. So I have like the team that work with me for more than 5 years. Most of them work more than 5 years and they are not leaving.
So what do you think the retention rate is so high? What is the one thing that keeps them staying and working?
They're happy, I feel.
They're happy
because I can really feel that, when they are able to do the things that they love during work time, sort of like change their mindset in working in my company, and then I allow them to side hustle. I can tell them, if there's really nothing for me to do, for you to do, and I have no task for you, I don't want you to be there so you can, improve certain skill, or you need certain, like the AI integration. I tell them that, you need any tools from me so that you can increase your productivity. Let me know. I will subscribe for you. Then you go and explore. Then this way you may be like my content writer. Previously, she one day can only write one content. But they say, hey, with these two assisted writing, I could write 5 in a day. So I'm saying, no worries. Then, we'll subscribe for you. You test it out. Then, if it really helps you, then good for you. It's a, new skills for you to learn. And out there, if one day you can deliver more content, you are able to, side hustle to write for other people as well, because that's the skills that you have.
These are transferable skills that whatever that they learn in your company can be used.
So they are very willing to, talk to me, telling me that, hey, I have this tool to do videos and, can I try something like that? Then I'm like, okay, I just subscribe. Then, I send them the details and then they will just log in and play with it. So these are the culture that I really want, because I want them to not just sit there and doing nothing. I want them to ask me questions, tell me the problem that they face, what can they improve on. Not like I keep telling them that, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. But instead, I want them to go and research on what they are doing, what they are good at, and they tell me that, hey, Ace, I can do this. Can you provide me with the resources to achieve this? And that's where everyone comes to me and tell me, hey, I want this, I want that. Then it's easier for me because I don't need to, go in depth to research on things that I'm not good at.
How do you get them to open up, to tell their boss, i.e. you, the stuff that they want to share? Because sometimes employees might be concerned about, or what would the boss think about me? Would I get fired? Stuff like that. How do you make these remote team members to open up? I think it's something super hard to know.
One thing is, sometimes I extract certain motivation speech from LinkedIn or that I'm like, hey, wow, this speech like very good. Can really tell people, can express the things I want. So I will tell them that, hey, AI is evolving. Then, in today's market, if we don't adopt AI, you're going to be left out. So in the next 3 years, if you don't do something that use AI to help you with your current workflow, you're going to get replaced. So I want you all to, be step up into the game and start adopting AI, and we will pay for it. Yeah. So I send that message across all channels that are under different departments and let them know that, we are going to do that. Then feel free. So that's why, they got this message and they will start thinking, hey, what can I do to adopt this and help me improve on their productivity, on their work, to deliver more at the same amount of time. Then that's why, they will come back to me, oh, Ace, yeah, I think we can do this. Yeah. But I'm not telling them what to do. I'm just sending this message whereby, this motivation speech whereby what is happening, what are the trends moving forward. And if we don't do that, not only yourself, myself, we are going to get replaced sooner or later. So we have to work with what is incoming and be prepared and get ready for them.
So it's more like you, the leader, is being very transparent about, the direction and what you see in the future, and just let them take the accountability and just to reach out to you to share what they are looking for, right?
I want to empower them, to make their own decision, because when we want to scale, I cannot be micromanaging every single one of them. Then it will leave very little time for myself. So I really want to free up a lot of my time, whereby I mainly focus on how to grow the company, how to scale them. So what I really need from them are really, they spearhead on their own expertise and, be the leader and then do whatever it takes to make it happen. So when I give them the problem, the task, that's where they know that, they have to, within their capacity, or even if they can't do it, they have to do research and get things done. So I can't be, be there to help them. Yeah. So that's the approach and that's the culture I really want. So they know that, if there's a problem, they have to face it by themselves and they are accountable for it. So take ownership in the project, take the ownership for the task, complete it earlier than I've expected. You're free to do whatever you want.
Freaking love it. What about the second lesson after running your business for 10 years?
The second lesson I would say would be, don't lose focus too early. Because during my startup, actually, I have peers that are making a lot of money in real estate. So, and in 2018, actually applied for a real estate license.
Wow, you applied for it? Okay.
Because my wife was still a real estate agent. So they were making like 6 figure a month, that kind, they post that kind of stuff. Now I'm like, what am I doing here? Like serving customers, selling $25 a month. Then I have to work like, grind like 1 year to reach that level whereby they could achieve it in a month. So I'm like, maybe am I in the wrong path or something like that? So I took up the license, and my wife and I did pretty okay. I would say decent in real estate.
Oh, you actually did real estate?
I did real estate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but what happened was the wake-up call from COVID, whereby there was this month, the circuit breaker, whereby, oh no, viewing is allowed. Well, we can't, hit to everywhere. That's the time as well that the trading activity surge. TradingFXVPS grew by quite a lot because there's a lot of customers, I think they have nothing to do. They start trading.
Doing all the FX trading themselves,
And that was, I realized that, actually what I am building is actually a recession-proof. Everyone was actually suffering, like, wow, my industry not doing very well, but TradingFX sort of like, grow even larger because of the volume the traders start coming in, even whether they are, professional or they are new traders. There are a lot coming in, requesting for server and doing some algorithms kind of stuff. And that's when, I talked to my wife saying that, I feel that I shouldn't be actually doing real estate anymore. So that's why I thought that I will be closing the gap. So I won't be sort of like, assisting her in the real estate, or, refocus myself into trading FXVPS and nothing else right now, because I do see the potential in it after COVID, and, is something that there's no point for me to diversify my time and effort out to pursue another opportunity where I know that I realize that this is what that is more resilient than real estate. So that's where, my second lesson is really, don't just lose your focus too early when you are trying to start up, because certain startup take longer time to mature, and because of that, I didn't really have the time for the B2B kind of thing, and then miss out a few more important opportunity for the business than chasing another opportunity that is not really what I really wanted. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that you were actually invested until you told me this. Okay, cool. I mean, that makes sense because, if back then you're staying focused, if you were to plant the B2B seed earlier, right? Maybe because the sales cycle is so damn long,
correct,
it takes quite a lot of time to like materialize something to meet the right people. But it's part of the journey. But I agree, like staying focused, even for TRV, there are always other new opportunities that I try to say no to. Sometimes it's very hard. Still trying. So I definitely feel what you are saying. Interesting. Do you have the lesson to share?
My
from
third
that?
lesson somehow relay a bit from the second lesson. So I would say whereby, because I try to diversify my time, my focus on real estate and trading FXVPS. And there are times that you should double down on something that you know that is right. So when you become more, I would say, more successful, you tends to receive more opportunity. You will get people from everywhere telling you that, hey, this is good. You have more knowledge on more stuff and hey, we can do this, we can do that. Don't just, take every opportunity that gonna make you lose focus on the main business that you are on. So that was what happened to me, and I really want to emphasize that sometimes it's okay to diversify, but there are times where you have to know that even the opportunity is going to be very appealing to you, but as long as it's taking up, it's going to make you lose focus on your main business, then that's why you shouldn't be taking up on that. Yeah, because both opportunity can be really something that if you're looking at money driven, then of course both can be very appealing, but you still have to know when to not diversify, but when to double down on what really works and continue with that. Yeah, that would be the third lesson that I learned when building trading VPS.
Also, some learning from me as well. Yeah, definitely stay in the lane, and sometimes need to trust your own intuition, right? Your gut's telling you that, hey, you should really be disciplined and do your own stuff. Try not to do too much.
Correct.
Distraction. And
because those distraction or, certain opportunity can be distraction, I would say. And
even though money is good.
Correct.
Yeah, sometimes,
and that distraction sometimes would make you unable to fulfill the full potential of what you're building. And that's the problem. So we can't really be, taking every opportunity that is given to us.
So for founders listening right now, not just in FX, space, right? Any founders, what's one piece of final advice that you would give them before they start a company in today's world?
For what I've been through, I would say if you're going to start up a new company, it's going to be something that you are familiar with and something that you know. Because I started off, working in the FX industry. I work in the sort of fintech company that really, shaped me into what I know, what I have, and what I can build. So, for instance, if you're going to run a restaurant today and you don't know how to cook, you have no idea how to taste good food, or you have no idea how to operate the kitchen, this would actually, I'm not saying you're not going to be successful, but it'll be harder for you to be successful because you're going to meet tougher decision when, someone's going to, you have to know where to source fresh ingredient, you may not know. And someone can overcharge you, you may not know. Or, someone can mislead you into certain decision that you can't judge at all. So it's best to stay in the lane whereby, you want to build something that you're familiar and you have knowledge in, because that would really, help you out when you are running the business, because you are able to have control over it. If anything happen that you may not, unforeseen circumstances come, business can anytime, any week, it can happen out of the blue, and you are panicking because you have no knowledge or expertise to handle them. Instead of leaving those answers to someone else, it's best that you're able to handle it themselves.
Love it. Thank you so much for coming here today. Really appreciate that. And
thank you.
Personally, I learned quite a lot, especially on the remote hiring part, how you actually delegate and work on the business and then build the trust with the remote team entirely. I think that's really fascinating, something that I learned today as well. So thanks so much for sharing, man. Thanks for coming over. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.